All right, this week we're going to discuss inequality word problems. We'll look at just basic two-step. I didn't get a chance to teach that last year. I did two-step equation word problems, but not two-step inequality word problems. So we'll start off with that. We're going to multi-step inequality word problems, then compound inequality word problems, and we'll end with absolute value inequality word problems. All right, so let's take a look at the first page. When we have these word problems, we're going to be looking for context clues to help us decide which inequality is represented. So I've highlighted some, but I'm going to, in these following sentences or situations that I've written, but I want to go through this again. This is the bent L for less than. It's the broken G for greater than. So this has to be less than or equal to. The little line means equal to. I know you all know that by now. I'm just recalling. And this is greater than or equal to. And those are the words we normally see, but there are other words to indicate that these symbols exist, okay? Not just less than, not just greater than, not just less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So that's what we're going to look at on this page. So we're just going to use a common sense approach, okay? It says Sue cannot afford to pay all her utility bill of $561. Her utility bill. She only has a maximum of $459. Says, what are some amounts that Sue could possibly pay? Okay, so Sue can't afford to pay it, which means she doesn't have enough. She only has a maximum amount of 459. So she could pay anything from 0 to 459 bucks. That's it. So a maximum of 459 would be maximum must mean it has to be she has less than or equal to $459. So a maximum of is less than or equal to. Let me make that look a little better. So a lot of students think when they say see maximum in any situation, the maximum means greater than or equal to. But a maximum of means less than or equal to. When you're talking about inequalities, it's just the opposite of what your brain might normally think. Because normally with maximum, it does mean higher or greater. But a maximum of means that's the most you can have, okay? So you can have that or less. I'm gonna change this to Central High School. So obviously I made this when this was Central Middle School, guys. All right. All right, Central High School just ended a fundraiser. In order for the basketball dunk team to come to our school, the school must raise a minimum of $3,000. If they don't raise $3,000, a minimum of $3,000, the dunk team won't come. What are some amounts the school could possibly raise for the dunk team to visit? So a minimum of $3,000 means they could raise $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and so forth. Okay, a minimum of $3,000 means that's the smallest amount you could raise. You can't go any smaller than that. So that means anything from $3,000 and above. You can't go any lower than 3,000. So a minimum of 3,000 would be $3,000 or above, greater than or equal to 3,000. Now remember when I told you that sometimes your mind may think maximum less, maximum more, minimum less. It's the opposite with these inequalities, guys. Unless you statements see these statements. These statements kind of go with, go along with inequality. But these down here, the opposite of what you may think. Okay, so minimum would be greater than or equal to. You need to be at least 18 to vote. What are some possible ages you could be to vote? 18, you mean 19, 20, 21, 22. You can't be 16 and vote. You can't be 5 and vote. So you got to be at least, must mean that you have to be 18 or older. So at least is greater than or equal to. Okay. So I know you think least means less than, but if it has add in front of it, it's turned it around. It means greater than. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one. Since there are only 57 seats on the bus, no more than 57 people can ride it. How many people can get on the bus? No more than 57 people. So can I have 58 people on the bus? No, because I can have no more than 57. So that means I can have anywhere from one person to 57 people. Actually, you could do 0 people. So anyway, that means a number that's less than or equal to 57. So no more than means less than or equal to. And again, I know your mind sees more and it goes to greater, but it's got no in front of it. It turns more around and makes it less. Okay. Just like this had add in front of it. Turns least around and makes it greater. Okay. After walking to the cafeteria and going through the serving line, you have at most 20 minutes to eat lunch. What are some possible minutes you have to eat lunch? And you all know if it takes a long time to get through that serving line, it shortens your the time you have to eat your lunchtime. So having at most 20 minutes means you have 20. You might have 19. You might have 18, 17, so forth. So you can have 20 minutes or less. So at most means less than or equal to. It's got the at in front of it. Turns most around. Makes it less. Excuse me. In order to pass each class, your average must be no less than a 60. So you all know you don't pass if you make an F. So no less than means it has to be 60 or more, because it asks what are some averages, what averages are passing. So no less than is greater than or equal to. Notice on all these, they have they're equal to every last one of them. But you just have to decide whether it's greater or less. But on all these words that are different from these up here, they have an equal to symbol, okay? All right, so what we're going to do is write an inequality for each situation, solve the inequality, and graph it. And I think what I may make you do is write a sentence that kind of gives your answer. Your weekly base salary is $150. Basically, that's what you're going to get paid. Ooh, all you guaranteed is $150 a week. You earn $20 for each cell phone that you sell, so obviously you're a salesman. So you get this, but you earn more money if you sell more cell phones. Write and solve an inequality to find the number of cell phones you must sell to make at least $630 a week. So I'm going to do C for number of cell phones. But I know that 20 has to go with the cell phones that I sell. So 20 and C are going together. This is what I get anyway. So I'm going to have my 150 that I get anyway, regardless if I don't sell a thing, plus the $20 that I make for each cell phone. But it says it's at least $630. So this makes my check. Okay. You must sell at least, and you don't get 630. You must sell at least, how many cell phones must you sell to make at least $630? So you're trying to see what C would have to be if you want to make at least or greater than or equal to 630. So you can kind of calculate how many cell phones you're going to need to sell if that's what you want your check to be every week. So let's see. Let's take out that base pay of 150. So I'm going to take 630 and subtract 150. I get 480. I'm going to divide both sides by 20. And C has to be greater than or equal to 24. So if I graph 24, 25, 23. All right, so you have to sell at least 24 phones in order to make $630 a week or more. All right, two, the Technology Club is trying to raise no less than $1,000, raffling a 19-inch flat screen TV. They have $100. That's all they have. If they sell raffle tickets for $5 each, how many raffle tickets must they sell to make no less than 1,000? Okay, so how many raffle tickets? I always go to your question. T for number of tickets. All right, so they're selling the tickets for $5 each. So I know T and 5 are going together. But what do they already have? They already have 100. Plus, they're going to sell the tickets for $5 each. And they want to make no less than $1,000. No less than 1,000. No less than means they want to make 1,000 or more. They don't want to make under 1,000, okay? And it's got no in front of it. It's going to turn less than around. So I'm just going to get rid of that 100 that they have. That means they got to make $900 from selling these raffle tickets. Divide both by 5. So they got to sell at least, let's see, do 900 divided by 5. They got to sell at least 180 tickets, guys. Excuse me. All right, so they got to sell at least 180, so 180 or more. 180, 181. I'm going to write a sentence. Okay, let's take a look at 3. An animal shelter has fixed weekly expenses of $750. Expenses are things you got to pay out, guys. So every week they know they're going to have to pay out $750. Each animal in the shelter costs an additional $6 a week. So they also have to pay $6 a week just for the animals each animal being in the shelter. During the winter months, the weekly expenses are at most $900. So at most means 900 or less, guys. Remember, at is in front of most, so think of it as less than or equal to 900. Right inside of an inequality that represents the number of animals at the shelter for the expenses to be at most $900 a week. So I'm looking for the number of animals at the shelter. So I'm going to call it A for number of animals at the shelter. All right, so I already know that I need this to be less than or equal to 900. These are the expenses. So how are the expenses calculated? Well, you got fixed expenses of $750 plus each animal costs $6, an additional $6. So it's 6 times 8. So I'm going to take that 750 and take it away. So 6A less than or equal to 150. And so that means that $150 is coming from the number of the expenses of 150 are coming from the number of animals at the shelter. Divided by 6, because I know it's $6 for each of those. So 150 divided by 6 is 25. So I know, hold on guys, let me graph it. That during that week, during that week, there are 25 or less animals, or you can say at most. Let's just use the word that they're using. Meaning less than or equal to 25 animals. All right, you're gonna pause the video and try number 4, okay? All right, this is what you should have. You borrowed $200 from a friend to help pay for a new laptop computer. You pay your friend back $12 a week, poor friend. Write and solve an inequality to find when you owe your friend less than $60. Less than $60 is just less than $60. You don't really have to think about that one much, okay? All right, so I'm looking for when I'm going to owe, okay? The when is in terms of weeks. So let's do W for number of weeks. When is their time, okay? This time is in terms of weeks, okay? Basically, how many weeks is it going to take you to owe your friend less than $60? All right, so you automatically start with owing them $200. But you're going to take away $12 a week from that. That's basically how you set that up. This is what you take off per week. You're taking off $12 per week until you get to $60. Well, less than 60, not 60, because if it was 60, you have an equal sign on it, and it doesn't, so it's got to be smaller than 60. Let's solve it by subtracting 200. So you have negative 12W less than negative 140. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 12. Now be careful. Let me change the color on this. Remember, when you multiply or divide by a negative, and I should have told you how to pause the video and try this one. I didn't realize it had that negative. When you multiply or divide by a negative, you should remember that you got to do one thing. You got to flip your symbol. So that's W. Less than is going to flip to greater than. And you get this. Okay? You get something like that. 11.666. It's like 11 2/3 of a week. So I'm gonna just I'm going ahead and graph this. Graph it. Go back to play. Okay. Here's 11 and 6 cents. I'm just gonna do 11 and 7. 11 and this is 11 and 6 cents with the bar. It's really 11 and 2/3. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna put 12. Makes it easier. And over here I'm gonna put 10. Just put some numbers on the side. All right, now so here you're gonna have an open circle, and it's got to be greater than, can't be equal to. All right, so when you write your statement, I don't need you to put that'll be at 11 and 6 cents weeks because it doesn't have the little equal sign right here, guys. I'm going to use the word more than. I'm trying to use the eraser. It will take more than 11 and 6 cents weeks before you owe less than $60. Okay, but I'm gonna show you something, guys, and this is, but you're paying them back by the week. You're not paying them in a part of the week. Okay, so it says you're paying them back $12 per week. So the reason why I asked you to write this sentence is because most of you are gonna stick with this. Okay, which is nothing wrong with that, but you're not paying them in the middle of the week. You're paying them week by week. So what week is more than 11 and 6 cents week? I mean, realistically, for it to make sense, if you're paying them week by week. So I'm going to tell you what I would really like for you to write. If you're paying them week by week, you're not going to go in the middle of the week and pay them 0.6. I mean, the 2/3 of a week. You probably get paid every Friday. Because since it says per week, I would probably say it will take, let me write this in red so you can see it. It will take 12 weeks or more before you owe less than 60. And I hope that makes sense. This is the one I'm looking for because I want it to like kind of make sense with the problem. Which this is true, but it doesn't really make sense when it says you're paying them back by the week. Okay, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you just pause the video and call me over. Because you don't pay you don't pay 0.6 tenths. You don't stop at 0.6 tenths in the week. You get paid week by week, or you pay them week by week. So I'm gonna have to go to a whole number week, not a decimal week, which is nothing wrong with this graph. But here, that this one really doesn't make sense in terms of the problem. So go with the one in red. It will take 12 weeks or more before you owe less than $60. And if you wanted to on this graph, you could go with what I started to. It's all right if you do something like this. It doesn't matter. Just as long as you got the order on the graph correct. All right, let's take a look at number 5. Mandy's monthly earnings consist of a fixed salary of $2,800. So obviously she's a seller too, a salesperson. So regardless, if she doesn't sell a thing, she's going to earn $2,800. And that's the and part, an 18% commission on all her monthly sales. So 18% commission, if y'all don't know what that is, it's like if I go sell $1 worth of whatever merchandise, I'm guaranteed to get 18 cents from the company. Let me write it up where you can see it. So if I sell this, I get to keep 18 cents. If I sell $2 worth of merchandise, I get to keep 18 cents twice, which is 36 cents. If I sell $10 worth of merchandise, I get to keep $3.60. So basically you're keeping 18 cents for every dollar worth of merchandise you're selling. That's what 18% commission means. You keep some money. 18 cents on every dollar. To cover her planned expenses, Mandy needs to earn an income of at least $6,400 this month. It's got add in front of it, so I know it's going to be greater than or equal to 6,400 because it's add in front of lease. Lease, we normally think of less, but if it has add in front of it, flip it around. Write and solve an inequality to find the amount of sales. Basically, how much merchandise? What's the price on the amount of merchandise she needs to sell for the month? And in order to have a minimum of $6,400. So you have to earn that much. Okay. This is her pay. So how does she get paid? Well, she gets $2,800 fixed. And then she gets 18% commission. Remember, that's 18 cents on every dollar, so make it look like money on everything she sells. All I need to do is for a number of sales. 18 cents on every dollar for a sale, okay? Don't put 18% commission is 18 cents for every dollar. Subtract your 2,800. Okay, so let me take my handy dandy calculators. Guys, I'm tired this morning. Minus 2,800. It's $3,600. So she's gonna need 18 cents a whole bunch of times to get $3,600. Let's divide and see how many 18 cents she's gonna need. She must be selling houses. Okay. She's gonna need to sell $20,000 worth of merchandise this month. Oh, well, I don't think she's selling houses. Cheap house. She's selling something else, but anyway, she's making pretty good money. Just graphing. Greater than or equal to more than that. Whatever she's selling, she's got to sell $20,000 or more. Okay. If she wants to make at least $6,400 in a paycheck. Whew. Oh, we're not gonna do all these, guys. I will tell you that just because of what's highlighted, it has no more than. It means less than or equal to. More than normally would mean greater than, but has no in front of it. So turn it around. Let's go on to number 7. You can try number 6 if you want to. I'm going to go on to number 7. A student Had scores of 70, 77, 85, and 85 on 3 exams. What score is needed on the fourth exam to make the students average an 80 or better? And 80 or better will be greater than or equal to 80. Excuse me. So I'm just going to think about how we calculate averages. Now we weight them, but when I was going to school, I don't think they were ever weighted. And I know when I started teaching in 2002, the year 2000, we would just add up all the grades that you had and divide them by how many grades that we have put in the grade book. So I'm going to say X is the score on the fourth exam. It says what score is needed on the fourth exam. So I'm just going to think about how we average grades. We take all these and divide by 4. That's how we get our average, how we used to do it. Now, like I said, we weight them a certain percentage first. But I'm going to take all those and add 70 plus 77 plus 85, 232 from those 3 exams plus the fourth one divided by 4. You all should be used to this. Just multiply both sides by 4 because that bar goes all the way across. These are going to cancel. So 232 plus x greater than or equal to 320. Subtract 232. So x is greater than or equal to 320 minus 232 is 88. So if she wants, or the student wants a 80 or better, they better, on the fourth exam, they better make at least an 88. Excuse me, guys. Okay. That was pretty easy. Excuse me. All right, let's go and look at number 8. Find the 3 smallest consecutive even integers whose sum is no more than, is more than 60. More than, it doesn't have no in front of it, so just put greater than 60. Had it had no in front of it, no more than, have been less than or equal to. Okay, but I need 3 consecutive even. So x is going to be the first even one. X plus 2, remember consecutive even and consecutive odd, count out by 2s. That's the second even. And x plus 4 is the third even. And the sum has to be no more than 60. So 1x plus 1x plus 1x, if I combine like terms. It's going to be 3x plus 6 greater than 60. Subtract 6 from both sides. 54. Divide both sides by 3. X has to be greater than 18. Okay. Please don't put 18. It's got to be greater than 18, guys. So you just think about this. We're not graphing this because it's not one of these kinds of problems, okay? So this problem is a little like this one. Where is it? This week problem, because it didn't have an equal to sign on it either. And then this was per week, so you had to go by whole number of weeks. All right, so here, this is just greater than 18. So you need an even number that's the smallest even number, because it says smallest, that's greater than 18. So please don't put 18 right here. 18 isn't greater than 18. It can't be a solution. It just can't. So what even number is greater than 18? So this, you're going to have to do 20, and then 22, and then 24, because you just add up by 2. So I would say 20, 22, 24. Now I had it said something where it indicates an equal sign, like more than or equal to, then you could have used 18, because you had the equal to sign on it. But I got to pick an X that's greater than 18. And the only even consecutive number that's right after 18 is the smallest. The next smallest one is 20. All right, guys. So be careful on those, okay? 9. The sum of 4 consecutive integers is at least 126. 126 at least means greater than or equal to. And I'm just looking at consecutive integers. It says, find the smallest 4 consecutive integers to fit the situation. Consecutive x that count by ones, x plus 1, x plus 2, and x plus 3. So it says the sum of them, so I'm going to add them. That's going to give me 4x plus 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 2 is 6 plus 6 has to be greater than or equal to 126. Subtract 6 from both sides. So you know what, 4x greater than or equal to 120. Divide both sides by 4. And x is greater than or equal to 30. Because it has equal to, I can say the smallest one is 30, okay? I can say this is one more than that, which is 31. That's 32. That's 33. And I don't care if you said 30 plus 1, that's how we got 31. Or 30 plus 2, and that's how we got 32. And then it would be 30 plus 3. So I'm looking at 30, 31, 32, and 33. Okay, let's take a look at 10. The sum of 4 consecutive odd integers is less than 54. Find the largest 3 consecutive odd integers that fit this situation. So I'm going to do x. Remember, consecutive odd count out by 2. So x plus 2, x plus 4. I only need 3 of them, okay? Only 3. It says sum them. So that's going to give me 3x plus 6 is less than 54. Subtract 6 from both sides. X has to be less than 16. Okay. Now, please, please, please pay attention. This says these are consecutive odd. Okay. It says they're consecutive odd, guys. So you got to think about numbers less than 16. What's going to be the largest odd number that's less than 16? The largest odd number that's less than 16 is 15. Okay? So this is just 15 plus 2, which is 17. And this is, 15 plus 4, which is 19. You got to pay like really, really close attention to these. So I'm looking at 15, 17, and 19. It's got to be less than 16, but it also has to be, give me the largest odd. So I put the largest odd, and we'll keep going down because it got to be less than 16. So I know to start off at 15 and then keep going down. Or not keep going down, but that tells you where to start. I'm sorry. That's going to tell you where to start, okay? my x is still less than 16. So it's just that your x has to be less than 16. And my x here is still 15. My x here is still 15. Okay? So the x that I'm using is still less than 16, so I'm good, okay? And I just continue. I know odd numbers count up by 2. So 15 plus 2 is 17. 15 plus 4 is 19. All right, you're going to do the homework that I have assigned. Try to write me a sentence on those that have can be written as a sentence like these guys. Okay? Like that right there. You'll see it. If not, just call me to your desk. I don't necessarily require a sentence on these consecutive problems. But on the others, try to give me one, okay? Excuse me. Thank you.